Hello, welcome to Titan Talk. I'm Yasmin Riculfy and I'm here with Principal Butler. So, Principal Butler, introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been a principal.
Hello, I'm Ralph Butler. I'm principal of Legacy School of Sports Sciences. I have been the principal of Legacy for 5 years. Prior to that, I was a principal at another charter school for a year. And I believe I started being an administrator in 2008. So this is year 15 as an administrator. 25 years. This is my 25th year as
That's
an
a long
educator.
time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That is a very long time. So, coming from a public district, how would you compare Legacy to your other district?
So this is the hardest and the best job I've had. Um, in a big district, you have a lot of support from the district office, and they've been around. They understand the processes. So we had to start from scratch at Legacy. So
Right.
That's the good and the bad at the same time. But it was something that is what attracted me the most to Legacy. And still to this day, when I commute 36 miles each way, when I question should I find something closer, the benefit is because I get to build and make the rules kind of myself. So that's the best thing about it, is that some of the policies here we wouldn't get away with in a big school district.
Right. So, what are some policies that you wouldn't get away with?
Just the whole culture of punishment. I mean, if you've been in big schools, a lot of things they have to do because they have large volumes of kids, 3,000 kids who are making poor decisions daily. And so I've suspended 10,000 kids in my lifetime, right?
That's a lot of kids.
Well, it's probably about 4,000 kids that have been suspended 10,000 times. So just how we look at policies as far as dress code, right? In that if you violate the policy, do you suspend them, send them home, or do you try to work with them to stay on campus and change to become a person who believes in the policies instead of trying to break the policies? You buy into what the school is about. And so at Legacy, we're really about you buying into the campus and saying, hey, I believe in you guys, so I'm going to follow what y'all ask us to do.
Right. Okay. So, do you have a certain style as a principal?
Um, well, my style, I don't say it's something that's defined, but it is relationship based. So I believe in building relationships with students, teachers, and parents, understanding who you are as a person, not just as a student, and families as you treat them with the respect that I would treat my own family, or how I want my family to be treated by other educators. And so that's really the beginning, is having good relationships with the families and the students, being accessible, being honest. That's important, and then just wanting the best for each kid.
Right. So, is would it be hard for you to start a relationship with a bad student? Like, say, for instance, a student coming from a school and they were very disrespectful, but you saw potential in them. So, how would you, as a principal, build a relationship with them?
So that happens a lot here. We get students who have not been successful in a traditional setting, and they transition over. So I understand that in some schools and some situations, students are kind of put in bad situations for them to make bad choices, right?
Right.
So I give them the opportunity here to build their own case, and a lot of times what'll happen is everybody will focus on them and like, ooh, they're bad. They're making poor choices. Well, in my mind, well, it's day one. So why would they make great choices on day one at Legacy with something new? Because everybody on their day one didn't do their best, right? So they get their own fresh start, and they get to kind of build the relationship with me. So it's not hard, because I've dealt with a lot of kids. When I was assistant principal, all I dealt with was discipline all day long with ninth graders.
Right.
So if I've had 10,000 suspensions, I've had 10,000 parent conferences, right, and student conferences. So and this is with kids who have, some of them are in jail, some of them are dead, some of them, right. So it's all walks of life. So just the experience. You do this long. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of experience and different kids who've done different things, and it becomes easier to see the best in them and help support them to get to where they want to be and their families want to be.
Right. Because it would seem hard. Okay. So, what are some core principles that you would recommend to the students here at Legacy?
So we talk about that quite a bit. Is number one is build the relationships with the adults, right? So in many campuses you'll go to, it feels like there's a student against adult, environment.
Right.
Well, here what we try to create is that no, we're all on the same team. Get to know your teachers. One of the things special about Legacy, most of our kids want to be a student athlete at the collegiate level or in a career in sports, and we have people here who've done all those things. So you have people who were just like you, right? And so we want you to be able to lean on us to help support you to be great. So that's kind of the principles of it, is build the relationships with the adults until your peer group get in a position to start having options for you. Right now, all the options adults have for you.
All right.
Right. So like I could call somebody and say, hey, I got a young lady that wants to do this. Do you have any opportunities? Right. Or Ms. Carey can, or Mr. Dixon. Right. I mean, there's enough adults here who can lean on our own personal network to help you guys make the next step. So instead of closing off and I just want to be friends with my teenage friends and classmates, you really build the relationships with the adults.
Okay. Do you put yourself in students' shoes sometimes? Because it gets pretty hard around here, especially with the teaching and you know the environment. It can be pretty tough for on the students.
So I wasn't born 49. So I was a kid at some point, and so I do. So when we're going through policies, we think about the student, the teacher, the parent, right? And so when we're checking off, we're trying to check all those boxes to fit the student, right? But also, I remember being a student. If it was left up to me, I would probably not be here, right? And so when you talk about hard, you're just like, it could be, yeah, it's a tough job, right? But that doesn't mean it's not worth it, right? And that's what we want to for you guys to understand, is that just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not right. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you should give up, right? And so yeah, I think about kids all the time. I mean, the whole we had to change the campus from the first year to now because I thought students could handle the level of responsibility we were giving you guys, right? And so we didn't have dress code.
All right.
And then all of a sudden people would come to school in anything.
Pajama pants.
Pajama pants, holes all in your pants, just it's really that you were trying to, your students are going to challenge the rules no matter what, right?
Because they gonna see if they could get away with it.
Right. And so our campus is not about trying to get away with it. Our campus is saying, hey, the reason why we have these expectations in place is because we believe they're going to assist you later on. Right. So you can practice those things. There's very few places you can go and people are going to respect you if you have on pajamas. Right. So if you're conducting business, you see today alone, we had, I think, 4 college coaches in here. And so making that dress to impress kind of mindset, so you're not disqualifying yourself just by the way you look. As much as that's not fair, it happens, right? For all of us.
Right.
Right. So that's the short part of it. Yeah, I think about it all the time. But we also don't give in to you guys saying, I don't want to do that. It's too hard. So what? Learn those TikTok dances is pretty hard too.
No,
On
no,
my yeah,
no,
on my end, that's pretty hard. Y'all knock those out pretty quick.
no. They're not hard. You
You know
just
why?
have to
Do it over and over and over again.
exactly,
Repetition.
exactly,
I like that. I like that.
exactly. Okay. So since we're wrapping it up, can you tell me what makes Legacy the school of choice?
Oh, that's a great question. I think again it goes back to when you come on campus, you have folks here who care about you, right? Like I
Right.
know, I mean, if there's 400 right now, there's 419 students enrolled to Legacy. I know pretty much all of them, right? So by name. Yesterday when we were calling cars because of the rain, we know the cars too, right? So the fact that you're not just a number walking through the door, we call you by a name or a nickname. We're all in your business, right? Is that true?
Yes, that's very true.
Okay. So that's what makes it special is that you as a young African American female
Feel like you belong.
you belong, and also you see a woman in leadership with Miss Carrie every day, Miss
Right.
Canada, right? And so those are all little things that are later on when you get older, you'll be like, dang, that's crazy. I was around the founder of a school all day. I have her cell phone number, right?
Right.
And she's still answering phone calls from graduates right now, right? So that's what makes the campus special is that you have access to high quality folks who care about you. And one thing we talk about when I give tours is that you can always kind of judge a school by who goes there, right? And so many schools, the principal and the founders' kids don't go to that school. They send their kids somewhere else.
Because they don't want to deal with them.
Right. Or they might not think it's good enough. And so here we have 13, 14 students whose parents work here, right? And so that makes it that I'm not only the principal, but I'm a parent. So if our math teacher or English teacher is not a good teacher, it's impacting my kid too, right? And so we got to make adjustments, right, and make some solutions and tough decisions, right? And so that's what I think makes it special. Besides the fact that we honor sport, we don't tell kids go find a B, C, D, E, F, G option. We say, hey, if this is your option A, your option one, keep after it. And then we attack your day to day, not your dream, right? So if you're not doing the right thing day to day, it's going to be hard to get you your dream.
It's a balance thing.
It's a balance, right? So in alignment, that's really what it is. Alignment that, am I doing the things to get me to where I want to go? So like if you wanted to go to Dallas, but you took IT and East, you're not going to get to Dallas, right? So if you're saying you want to be a Division I athlete or a student athlete or a woman in sport, broadcaster, right? And you don't do any broadcasting,
how are you going to do
how are
it?
you going to do it, right? So that's what's special about Legacy. That we love sport, we honor sport, we build relationships, we try to treat kids as respectful as we can, and remember how it was when we were little.
Right.
Like I remember putting on my uniform under my church clothes. That's how much sport meant to me, right? And trying to wear my cleats to the grocery store. That's real.
That's embarrassing.
I'm gonna wear my little league shirt tomorrow.
Can you even fit that?
Probably not. No, I can't. But I've only gained 2 pounds a year since I graduated from high school.
And how long has that been?
30 years. But so that's
Right.
it.
That makes sense.
I mean, I'm working on it. It's that snack machine.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So can you tell us the motto here at Legacy?
You mean the Legacy way?
Yes.
Be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do in pursuit of academic and athletic excellence.
Okay, that's all that we have today. I'll catch y'all on the next episode of Titan Talk.
Tighten up.